All right. Wow. You know, it's kind of interesting how when you read something about a figure online, you watch a review, you read a bunch of posts on a forum, and it really gives you the wrong idea. Sometimes you can just really, I guess I have to take it, I have to realize, I never seem to learn this lesson. Maybe some damn day I'll learn this lesson is, it's all a matter of opinion. Everyone has an opinion. And I was dead set to not be crazy about this figure at all, but I'm so pleasantly surprised about this Intergalactic Skeletor and the next figure I'm going to take a look at in a very short while. I'll start by saying his hands aren't half as soft as I feared that they would be. They're actually quite firm. I don't know what people are thinking, bashing the hands on this figure, like giving them such bad explanations. Like, I expected these things to be like gummy bears. I expected these to be like gummy bear candies. I thought, oh my god, this is going to be horrible. But no, they're not much different than the hands from many other Masters Classics figures. I really don't get what all of that fuss was all about. All that fussing was all about on those hands, because they're perfectly fine to me. I do see how people were talking about how he barely holds his Havoc staff. That's partly, I think, due to the staff itself. The handle part is very wide. It's a very wide staff. It's a very wide-handled staff, I guess you could say. And it weighs a lot, too. It weighs a lot more than you may think. I'll turn Skeletor to the side so you can see that it's full all the way around. You've got, like, it's actually it's not an illusion. It's not like just from the front. You could see from the side it's like an actual skull. And that's pretty damn awesome. The head sculpt. God. The head sculpt is amazingly cool. There's a lot of nice paint work on this that I'm almost sure will not show up on this video. But that's another thing about this figure. I looked at countless pictures of it. Nothing thrilled me. Nothing really, nothing made me think that it was going to be anything that special. But looking at it in person, it is stunning. The paint work, I'll go back to this. The paint work on the skull head alone is incredible. Incredible masking of it too, because the technological bit that is clamped to the back of his cranium is kind of like a metallic blue, and the paint masking is really, really good. It's really sharp. And then after that you get to it's like a really dark forest green on the back of his skull. I kind of suspect that, I suspect that the head is molded in that dark green. And then you've got the paint detail on the back for that kind of mechanical clamp. And then in the front, you've got a nice spray of it's kind of like, it's not even really a bone white. It's more of a kind of a cream almost. If I'd have to describe it in any way, it's almost like a cream color. It's tricky to describe. And the eye sockets, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, they've got that's one thing about the eyes. While I'm on the eyes, I was thinking, I was really of two minds on this figure, on Intergalactic Skeletor as a figure, as a toy. A part of me almost wanted to see the jet lag jet lag animation Skeletor. You know, that is really not popular. I'm sure a lot of people would not have liked that. With the, if you've never seen the New Adventures of He-Man cartoon by Jetlag, oh boy, that was a complete departure, man. And Skeletor here, his head, his face was not so much a skull, it almost looked flesh-like, and he had these bulging eyeballs. A part of me almost wanted to see that, but now that I think about it, I'm glad that, yeah, that would have been really inconsistent with the rest of the line. I'm glad that the Horsemen and Mattel decided to stick with the old Mattel Skeletor, He-Man Skeletor figure. Lastly, I'll talk about another thing that people were really bashing this figure hard about. Man, he was getting some really negative press. Is the torso covering. I'm not even going to call it armor because it's more of a torso covering meant to look like his technological bits that are implanted into his skin. You know, offhand, I don't really find it looks all that bad. It really drives home the fact that this is a Masters Classics representation of Intergalactic Skeletor. It's not the slim build that we were used to seeing in the old He-Man or New Adventures line. That had a really slim build, but yeah, you know, I'd even read people say that he looks fat. I don't really think so. He just looks really bulked out, really seriously. Yeah, one other thing I wanted to talk about is, yeah, even the loincloth part, the waist piece, something interesting about it that I hadn't seen anybody talk about is this is all one piece. If you lift it up, you see that it's not a flap that goes against the front and back. It's actually fully one piece. And another thing I'll talk about, the last thing I'll talk about, is the fact that a lot of people were, again, negative press, that you could see his belly button of his under torso, of his basic buck torso, was showing through, peeking through, and oh yeah, that was pretty awful looking. But if you really have to, when you take the figure out, really work that ab crunch, like, and I'm telling you, there's a snap, there's an almost frightening snap sound that goes on because that mother is tight. But you have to really like grip the figure and really click the torso, the ab crunch, as far as it will go until the bottom of the torso covering hits the loincloth piece, and there, your problem is solved. No more peeking of the under torso's belly button. And lastly, this is another thing I was pleasantly surprised about. I wasn't all that thrilled or jazzed about the idea of getting the faker with the faker head with part of the flesh ripped off of the side of his face. It's pleasantly surprising. I like it a lot more now that I've seen it in person. And it's really nice that I had an extra faker, so this way, I really like displaying him this way, because I'd always thought it was a shame to cover up the really nice tempograph of the classic vintage, the old-fashioned computer, let's call it a computer console on his chest. It's really nice to be able to display a faker and not have that hidden by the faker's armor. So that's it. So hope you all enjoyed my really long-winded, more long-winded than I thought it was going to be, opinions of Intergalactic Skeletor. Take care of yourselves, guys, and I'll talk to you again in the very near future. Bye for now.